Kanade Amakusa starts his day by helping people around him just like other ordinary boys. But something is different in his life. He finds an adult magazine at the park and tries to resist his urge to open the magazine. Just then, two choices appear in front of him. First one is, press the magazine against his face and smell it, and the second one is, eat the magazine. He chose the first option and embarrassed himself in front of children's. Well, that is the abnormal thing in his life. His curse called, absolute multiple choice. A condition where he should pick either at least two decisions or receive pain. Upon arriving at school he greets a girl named Furano Yukihira, a girl with a weird sense of humor and a monotone facial expression. Another hyperactive girl, Aoka enters in the classroom through the window. She is the only daughter of the chairman of UOG, which is a large company that makes a huge number of items. She starts describing the effects of her company's products to other classmates. While Kanade is forced to choose to strip his top and shout like a true Japanese man, or strip his bottom and shout like an Amazon warrior. Because of the irregular things he has done because of that condition, students grouped him within the Fail 5, along with both girls. He starts shouting in the class until his teacher stops him, who seems to know about his curse and sends him home. Kanade, in the wake of going through a drawn-out day of humiliating decisions, is provoked with either having a beautiful girl fall from the sky, or the flirty street cleaner fall from the sky. Thinking about choosing the second option may be dangerous, he picks the first one, and a beautiful girl falls from the sky. To Kanade's chagrin, that beautiful girl quickly makes herself at home. It seems she has amnesia and is unable to remember her name or anything. Then she named herself Chocolate based on the chocolate she is eating. When Kanade asks why she is here, she explains to him that the only this remember is she has come to help him to lift his curse. Kanade receives a call on his phone from someone identifying himself as a god, but Kanade does not want to believe him, so, in order to prove himself a real god, he turned Kanade into a girl. Later, God reverts his body back to normal and informs him that in order to lift his curse, he must complete the missions given to him, for that they already sent him a supporter who will help him, that is Chocolate. Kanade asks Chocolate for her help, but finds her completely useless, so try to throw her out, but forced to choose either to give up on her or leave his own house. He chooses the first option and allows her to stay. Upon arriving at his school, he receives his first mission from the god, which is to make Yukihara laugh bottom of her heart, and the deadline is the next day. Due to her personality, he considers it impossible. At the class, Kanade is doing his usual things before his teacher arrives and again takes him to her office, where he explains to her about Chocolate and the mission. She tells him missions are real, and he must complete his mission. However, if he fails, his curse will never be lifted. The next day, he tries to do various things to make Yukihara laugh, but failed. After school, Yukihara leaves and goes upstairs, and he also follows her to the roof. He witnesses Yukihara crying. She assumes that Kanade is simply making fun of her. Surprised to find out by Kanade, Yukihara just knocks him out. When he woke up, he forgets everything from earlier and again tries to make Yukihara laugh. While he tries to stop her, he slips on a banana he took with him, and Yukihara emits into wild laughter. And thus, his first mission has been completed. The next day, Kanade receives his next mission, which is to get a glimpse of Kanade Amakusa's panties. He meets Kanade Amakusa, who is one of the popular girls in the school and also the best friend of Aoka. Kanade has to choose one option from two. First, ask her to show her panties. Second, trades undies with him. So he chose the first one, and for that reason, he is taken out by a group of bodyguards. They just beat the shit out of him. Aoka decides to help and take him and Kanade to a shopping trip, where Kanade attempts various methods to complete the mission, but failed. Finally, when they were sitting at a coffee shop, they were attacked by a ruffian, permitting Kanade to see the undies Luca is wearing all the while. As the underwear were at first planned for Kanade, so the mission is finished. God confirms that his mission was to get a glimpse of Kanade's panties. It does not matter who is wearing them. Later, Chocolate joins Kanade's class, and much excitement for other students. Kanade is given another new 3 choices. Since this time all choices seem decent, he chooses harem time out of them. While chocolate suddenly becomes popular among the students who loaded her with sweets. Kanade is waiting for his harem time to start. He is soon chased by the most popular boys in the school and comes to realize that he has been tricked by his curse. Kanade's class started to take the ideas for the upcoming freshman event, but is soon interrupted by a member of the student council, such as Vice President Soka and President Sarah. They come to invite Kanade, Aoka, and Yukihira to the upcoming battle between Filed 5 and Popular 5 students in the freshman event. President Sarah successfully manages to trick 3 of them and get them into Failed 5 group, and now they have to participate as Failed 5 representatives. She tells them the 4th member has been already decided, a senior named Karasu Mishima, and the 5th spot is yet to be filled, which they can decide by themselves. Before leaving, President meets Chocolate and casually calls her a non-human being. And Kanade's new mission is to make each of the girls in the upcoming battle say they like him. Kanade struggle with his next mission and must find another member. While looking for a colleague, Kanade understands that the girls in the upcoming battle don't have to love him. Consequently, Kanade asks Aoka if she like him as a person, to which she answers yes. And it worked. Next, he asks Yukihira, who replies no after some build-up. Afterward, he comes across a girl who calls him Ani-san. She is his childhood friend named Yuragi. A few moments later, Yuragi follows Kanade to his class. He introduces her to Aoka and Yukihara. She asks them to be there when Ichan. Aoka suggests to take Yuragi as their last member, making Kanade realize she could fit perfectly in the Failed 5, because she never said she hate him, so he let her in the group. President calls everyone from both teams. Though Filed 5 still sorts with a member, the president explains in the upcoming battle, each member of both teams will compete in one of the 5 events, and whichever team wins the more events will win the battle. Another popular girl AM announces their lineup, in which the vice president is the first, and the last one is their captain, the president. At end of the meeting, Yugari tells Kanade she likes him without being asked. Kanade is presented with new choices to announce. He will make all girls say they like him, or make all girls fall for him, so he announces the first one loudly. The next day, Yukihira's behavior suddenly changes after learning from Aoka that she already told Kanade she likes him. While Yukihira having trouble with her own feelings for Kanade, Kanade is thinking about who should he approach next, and decides to approach Kanagi for his mission. He asks her directly whether she likes him or not as a person, but before she could answer his question, he is again taken out by her bodyguards and gets beaten up by them. When her bodyguards leave, Kanagi arrives to give his questions answer by telling him that she likes him as a person and leaves. It makes her count 3. And then Kanade is again attacked by Kanagi's bodyguards. Afterward, after risking his manhood, Kanade decides to approach another popular 5-member AM. She refuses his request before even listening to him. She tells him if he crawls in front of her then she will listen to him. He did, but she back off. Then his curse suggests an option to blackmail her, revealing her secret that her boobs are fake. She takes him somewhere alone. To hide secret, he asks her to do what he say. However, she misinterprets his reasoning as he only wants to her say she likes him. Later, Yukihara dropped something. Kanade picked it up. It was a flyer of the mascot event for children's toy called White Meat. Yukihara returns and knocked Kanade unconscious out of embarrassment. Kanade becomes the mascot of White Meat's event. It seems that when Yukihara knocked him out, Aoka and Chocolate decided to help him and arrange this for him. While strolling around the city with the children, he comes across Yukihara, who has been watching him from far. She reveals that she has an extreme fondness for cute things and couldn't control herself. After enjoying the day together, she reveals her true self, saying that she is not good at socializing with people, but still, there is one person named Kanade who still talks to her, but is afraid to be alone if shows him her true self. And without even realizing that Kanade is under the mascot costume, she tells him she loves him. While Kanade and others are deciding their team lineup for the upcoming battle, their 4th member Karasu suddenly shows up and leaves after choosing his opponent by himself. Kanade then meets President Sarah and thinks to complete his mission, so he asks her if she likes him as a person or not, to which his replies that she doesn't dislike him and makes a bet that if his team manages to win the battle, then she will give him a proper answer. Finally, the battle between both teams starts, and the first match is between Vice President Soka and Yuragi easily wins the match, which brings Failed 5 and led. After winning the first match, Failed 5 consecutively lost 2 matches against Kanade and Noucome. On top of that, their fourth member Karasu has gone missing from the battle. So Chocolate participates instead of him and manages to win the match, which ties the scores of the teams. Now the decisive battle is between President Sarah and Kanade, which is end with Kanade's winning in rock, paper, scissors. As she promised after Failed 5 wins in the battle, President Sarah announces that she loves Kanade in front of the whole crowd. But Kanade's mission is still incomplete, because Chocolate is also added to his list, so he has to ask her if she likes him or not in front of the crowd, to which replies she like him, and thus it completes his mission. As for his reward, crowd throws their things at him. After the battle, Kanade becomes famous among the other students in a bad way though, so he needs to hide himself from them, because every time they see him, they just beat him up. Upon arriving at his classroom, Kanade is presented with 3 choices, which are either to hug Aoka, Yukihira, and Chocolate. He chooses to hug Chocolate, which leads Chocolate to regain her memory. Chocolate begins to show her different side and tells him she regains her memories. At his home, rather than eating Chocolate, even cooks dinner for him and feeds him with her hands, prompting Kanade to wonder which side he prefers. She then explains to him about his curse, involvement of gods, and the supporters. After explaining what she knows, Chocolate begins behaving very strangely toward Kanade, attempting to kiss him, telling him that if kiss her his curse will be lifted. In the process, she is hit in the head and reverts to her usual self. The next day at school, President Sarah arrives and gives tickets of the water park to Kanade and others for celebrates their victory at the battle. And the next mission for Kanade is to take a photo of a crying Aoka at the water park trip. Along with their teacher Yudage Sensei, Kanade, Aoka, Chocolate, and Yuragi reaches the water park, and upon arriving there the girls run off on their own. Yukihira is also there but afraid to show herself because of her personal reasons. President Sarah and popular girls also show up and decide to help Kanade to search for other girls. AM ends up battling against Yugari. While Kanade finds Chocolate judging a sexy men's contest. President Sarah tells him she saw Aoka at the rollercoaster. Kanade then finds Aoka with Kanade at the rollercoaster. Aoka takes him to the rollercoaster ride. Aoka reveals that she never cried since her junior school, but she used to be a crybaby in her childhood. But when her mother told her that she should only cry in front of someone she loves, so she stopped. In order to complete his mission, Kanade decides to use his last resort, the onion syrup, which he prepared to make Aoka cry. While he tries to shoot her with it, he has to make a choice either to shoot his own butt or his own nose with double strength. So he chooses the second option. Yuragi and Chocolate insist go the haunted house, however, Aoka hesitated, but Yuragi drags her along and discover that the haunted house may be Aoka's weakness. The haunted house proves too much for Aoka, and she also accidentally breaks Kanade's camera. Meanwhile, President Sarah did something to Chocolate, reminding her about her mission. Aoka requests Kanade to carry her like a princess, but her weight is too much for him and they fall off. However, Aoka thanks Kanade to be always on her side and starts crying out of happiness. President Sarah interrupts their moments. She lends her camera to Kanade to complete his mission. Kanade then clicks Aoka's photo and completes his mission, while Chocolate feels downhearted after seeing them together. President Sarah informs Kanade that his curse will be lifted after he finds his true love. Chocolate finally reveals her true feeling for Kanade and confesses her love to him and asks him to love her as well. Yukihira and Aoka also arrive. Kanade is presented with 4 new choices, either to confess that he loves Chocolate, Yukihira, and Aoka, or to choose the 4th option, which is something that happens at the water park. So he chooses the 4th. He explains it to his teacher, who just freaked out and tells him he shouldn't have chosen that option. By her reaction, he thinks he might have done something bad, and it will cause distraction in the park. so he decides to inform people, and for that he headed toward announcement tower. Though he faces some obstruction before reaching the tower. Before he could make the announcement, Chocolate again asks him for his answer, to which replies that he does like her, but not in the same as she does. Chocolate noted that he is on the open channel, and everyone heard his answer. Suddenly snowfall begins at the water park because of the choice Kanade made earlier, and in the end, everyone thoroughly enjoys their trip to the water park. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, share the video and subscribe to the channel.